Thanks for staying with us here on Newsdesk. Live in your shot there is a feed from the Accra International Press Center, where the Ghana Journalists Association is about to address the issue of Radio Adan being banned by the Adan Traditional Council from covering the Asafotufiam Festival. The network of community radio has raised issue with it. They described this as an affront on media freedom. They had indicated they will petition the GJA and the National Media Commission on this. Well, today the GJA is set to address the issue. As you heard my colleague Michael Papaniashale report, they have been to the ground to ascertain the issue for themselves, to pick first-hand information on the development. Well, you may know that the radio station wrote to the Traditional Council addressing the issue of omission on the list of media houses that have been published to cover the event. The Traditional Council then wrote to them in return, reinforcing their decision not to allow them cover the event, also because they say they have used unrefined language in addressing the chiefs of the Traditional Council. They believe that does not amount to press freedom. But the Media Foundation for West Africa indeed finds issue with this, and especially because festivals are public events. Let's go live there and hear the General Secretary who is speaking now, Kofi Yeboah.
I can recognize Mr. Gabriel Pusumpim, one of our respected senior colleagues in the profession. So as I said, as we go along, we will introduce those we have here. So now I will take the opportunity to invite the president of the GJA, Mr. Albert Kwabena-Jumfour, to address the House. Shall we welcome Mr. Albert Kwabena-Jumfour?
Yes, you have to tell it. How do I?
So just drop it. Just put it on there. Just put it on there.
It's okay, you put it on.
The sound man.
Let one sound man come to arrange the things.
It's okay. You have to hold it.
It's fine.
Is it fine?
It's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay. Members of the National Executive of the GJA, Chairman Greater Accra Branch of the GJA, Mr. Gabriel Pusumpim, a veteran journalist, and GJA rep, new rep on the National Media Commission, colleagues in the media, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning to you all. On behalf of the National Executive of the Ghana Journalists Association, I wish to express profound gratitude to you for responding to our invitation at a very short notice. This is the first press conference we are addressing since the new administration took office 1.5 months ago. We believe you will continue to rally behind the programs and activities of the GJA for the good of the association. Colleagues in the media, you may recall that in my inaugural speech on June 30th, 2022, I underlined the commitment of the Jumfour administration to defend press freedom at all times. In that regard, I indicated our intention to establish a fund called the Journalist Support Fund to address press freedom and welfare matters. This morning, we have invited you here to address an issue that touches the heart of press freedom and which needs urgent attention. This has to do with the decision of the Adan Traditional Council to ban Radio Adan from covering this year's Asafotufiam, the festival of the chiefs and people of the Adan traditional area. Upon hearing the news, I directed the General Secretary and the National Organizing Secretary to go to Ada to gather first-hand information on the matter to better inform our intervention. The GJ delegation, which also included Mr. Efo Maugbe, interacted with staff of Radio Ada and persons close to the Ada Traditional Council. And so we have a good appreciation of the issues at stake to inform our address. Ban on coverage of Asafotufiam. Ladies and gentlemen of the media, it is instructive to note that since its establishment 24 years ago, Radio Ada has covered Asafotufiam every year. It is always accorded prominent place and space to mount its outside broadcast equipment at the festival grounds. But this year, for the first time in its history, Radio Ada was denied its status at the celebration of Asafotufiam. The blacklisting of the radio started with the Ada Traditional Council not inviting Radio Ada for the coverage of the official launch of the festival at the Treasure Island, Ada, on June 30th, 2022. On July 14th, 2022, the management of the radio station wrote to Ada Asafotufiam Planning Committee 2022 to draw its attention to what it believed to be the inadvertent omission to the regular protocol of the Planning Committee. The management followed up on its letter with a delegation to meet the Ada Traditional Council on August 1st, 2022 to further discuss the matter. According to officials of the radio station, the outcome of the meeting with the Ada Traditional Council was positive. However, the Ada Traditional Council followed up with a letter to the radio station same day, August 1st, 2022, delivering the council's decision to place restrictions on Radio Ada as follows. 1. Radio Ada will not allow to mount a stage, Radio Ada will not be allowed to mount a stage at Ada Asafotufiam Park. The sound. Nene, and that's point two. Point 2. Neneme will not grant interviews to journalists from Radio Ada. 3. Noah Dame, Sewawari, and Amano Ziagu, who happen to be hosts of programs with unrefined language towards Neneme, are not to be seen at the park in Radio Ada paraphernalia. Indeed, in our fact-finding mission, persons close to the Ada Traditional Council expressed deep concern about the use of insulting and disrespectful language by program host of Radio Ada against the enemy. And I must reiterate on this, that we engaged both parties yesterday. We engaged the management of Radio Ada and also members of the Traditional Council. I want to stress on that. They cited the regular practice of the reporters mentioning the names of Neneme without according them their titles, and also inciting the people to hoot at Neneme and call them names during a demonstration. Colleagues in the media, whilst appreciating the concerns of Neneme as indicated above, especially what they described as unrefined language used to address them by program host of the radio station, the GJ believes the imposition of restriction on the radio station and its reporters is unjustifiable. In fact, it is an affront to press freedom as guaranteed in Article 21, 1A and F of the 1992 Constitution of the Republic of Ghana and Article 19 of the Universal Declaration on Human Rights. With all due respect, the Ada Traditional Council does not have the right or powers to impose such restrictions on Radio Ada and its staff. We also considered the barring of the 3 reporters of Radio Ada from wearing the paraphernalia of the radio station, and particularly the mention of their names, a threat to their lives and that of their family. We should be mindful of how such public disclosure of names of journalists are led to the killing of such journalists, and we should refrain from such actions. We believe one major significance of festivals is to use the occasion to foster peace, unity, and oneness of purpose among the people to promote the development of the community. We also recognize the concept of community radio as being the rallying force for the promotion of the culture and socio-economic development of the host communities. NMC complain. Colleagues in the media, we understand the Ada Traditional Council has filed a complaint at the National Media Commission, NMC, against Radio Ada for professional misconduct. We commend the Traditional Council for taking such steps because that is one of the appropriate forums to seek redress on such matters. However, the Ada Traditional Council violated the rules on complaint settlement of the NMC per the imposition of restrictions on the radio station and its reporters. Section 13(2) of the National Media Commission Act 1993, Act 449, provides a person who has lodged a complaint with the commission shall, unless he withdraws the complaint, exhaust all avenues available for settling the issue by the commission before recourse to the courts. Since the complaint by the Ada Traditional Council is still pending and has not been withdrawn, the council violated the NMC rules of engagement for complaint settlement by constituting itself into a traditional court to punish the radio station and its staff. Way forward. On the way forward, the GJ calls on the Ada Traditional Council not to take the law into their own hands, and that it should endeavor to use the due process of law to address its concerns. The council must also refrain from actions that have the tendency to endanger the lives of the radio station and its staff. We also advise Radio Ada and its staff to refrain from using insulting or unacceptable language in the discharge of their duties. They should endeavor to exhibit high professional standards at all times. We, however, encourage them to continue to discharge their constitutional mandate as provided in Article 162(5) of the 1992 Constitution, to hold the responsibility and accountability of the government to the people of Ghana. They must continue to play the watchdog role of the media in the interest of the people and the good citizens of Ada. We wish to encourage both the Ada Traditional Council and the management of Radio Ada to find amicable ways of resolving their differences. We urge them to consider each other as partners in development and work together to promote development in the area. The GJ is interested in seeing peace restored between the Ada Traditional Council and Radio Ada. Colleagues in the media, we have discussed the case of Ada Radio with the leadership of the Ghana Police Service, who have assured us of full protection for the staff of Radio Ada to enable them go about their normal duties. We believe will return to Ada so that development will also find space in the land through the event provided by the media. Colleagues in the media, may you indulge me to use this opportunity to wish Seth Kweku Mensah, one of our own, Akropeto, said Kweku Mensah Akrobeto, one of our own, who is also a reporter of KFM in the OT region. Speedy recovery. KMA, in short, as it's popularly called, was among 7 people who were involved in a gas explosion incident at Pasa in the Kwantanov district. 3 of the victims are reported dead, but our brother and colleague is currently receiving treatment at the Bench unit of the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. May God be his helper. Also, we want to stress on this, that the GJ will follow closely this issue to its conclusion. We will not leave it at only issue of press conference, at only issue of press statement and addressing press conferences. We will follow it to the final conclusion. We also want to take the opportunity to once again wish or express our deepest condolences to Bernard Koku Avle, who lost his wife a week ago. Thank you all for your kind attention. God bless you.
You had the president of the Ghana Journalists Association, Albert Jumfo, address that news conference on the development at Adan, where the traditional council barred the community radio station, Radio Adan, from covering this year's Asafotufiam festival. The GJA says the action is unjustified and an affront to media freedom. It also says it's met with the traditional council and it is encouraging the traditional council to use alternative means to address the issues. But the GJA also sees the language of the traditional council as a threat to the lives of the individual journalists who were singled out in that letter. And let me read to you what exactly the letter said. The letter in the point 3 said, named the journalists and said that they are not to be seen at the event. They are not to be seen at the park where the festival was to be held, and also not to hold the paraphernalia of the radio station. And it is further directing the station to respect the restrictions or in order to avoid any embarrassment. So these are the words of the traditional council. The GJA says it will follow up on the issue and has spoken to the police. The police has assured of full protection for the journalists involved at Radio Adam. That's it for News Desk. My name is Ernest Min. Apologies, we couldn't bring you sports and business, but we have more for you at midday. But you can log on to myjournline.com where you find more stories. Stay with us.